Yo, 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 what they do, what they do. I'm Aaron J. Jackson, and before we start the Race Relation Conversation Zoom meeting, on the behalf of the FGO team, we want to send our condolences to the families of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. And we want them to know we're going to fight for them to get their justice that they deserve. And not only them, everyone that is a victim of police brutality. May you guys rest in power. The Race Relation Conversation Zoom meeting was a live stream panel that me and Rodddzilla put together to talk about the different issues with people of all walks of life on what's going on and educating one another on how we can improve our society and add positive net worth to the world. It was uncertain that in the middle of our Zoom meeting, we gotten trolled by some racist kids that was playing around through the call, and the only reason that we're not censoring it is because we want you guys to hear how these people really think of us and how they reacted towards the meeting and how they hacked everything. So this is the first, live stream that we're doing under the behalf of the FGO team, and we want you to get game and realize that this is a bigger issue. This is bigger than us as the FGO. This is behalf of everybody in the world. So we just want you guys to be educated and understand what we got to do to better our situation as a group and as a whole society. So here it is. You guys enjoy. So before we start, Rod, get on camera real quick.
Nope.
Talk about
Good.
first thing first. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We not starting with we're just you know we just conversating and letting people join into the meeting. But I want to start off by saying thank you for coming. I want to talk about the protest because me and Rod, we went to the protest. He went to the LA one and I went to the one in Miami, of course. But Rod, tell the people how it was yesterday on the protest.
I feel like yesterday's protest, it was a lot more calm than they have been. This is the first time they remember they was giving us curfews. And they were kind of like cutting on our curfews like 30 minutes before. They like usually we got notifications like 30 minutes before we were supposed to like be going anywhere. So they were kind of like setting us up to get arrested like within like the last couple of days. But yesterday was like the first time like no National Guards presence was like that heavy. It was just all police officers. So it was a lot more peaceful, man. We walked down from City Hall to 7th Street. Anybody who in LA knows like where 7th Street Metro Center is, and back. It was a lot more peaceful, but you know what I mean? There's still a lot of energy. People still mad. And I don't feel like LA not letting up. LA's definitely not letting up. They're not letting up.
Yeah.
Not letting up.
Well, with me, I went last Saturday and it was crazy. It was my first. Honestly, it was my first ever protest. Living here on this earth. So, but it was interesting because we closed down I-95, and you know how I-95 is. That's that's a big moment.
Exactly,
That's a big moment.
exactly.
And the fact that the Dream Defenders, they led everything, and I like what they did. And what got crazy was the police station. The police station that opened my eyes to a whole different level of how I wouldn't say riots, but yeah, you could say riot. Like it was like a riot in front of like my face, in front of everybody, just like throwing
Yeah,
rocks at the police officers and stuff. I got tear gas, and the fact that I got tear gas, man, man, like this is an experience. Like it's
Messed
like
up.
it's kind of like how as a photographer, how like them army photographers, they used to document the wars and everything like that. It's just like crazy, and I still got flashbacks of that moment of like them doing tear gassing FBI agents and everything like that.
I bet you that was just so surreal. Like, come on now, this is like one of the first protesters that a lot of us ever been through. Like so like it was just surreal. It was surreal. It was surreal. I still hear helicopters every day, every morning. I hear helicopters and sirens around my house every day right now because of protests. For the last week, it hasn't slowed down.
In LA,
like right now, it's the quietest because it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But come like 10:30, 11 o'clock, y'all gonna hear it on the Zoom. Depending on how long we on this conversation for, y'all gonna hear it. Y'all gonna hear it.
Yeah, and you know, like LA, you guys been protesting every day, so it's just like, you know, Miami. I ain't really hear too many of like the protests or whatever, but you know, LA and Miami is kind of different in a sense. You know, I feel like Miami's point of views are kind of I won't say that point of views, but our I guess you could say way of living is kind of different. Me and you know that. I feel like everybody else know that, but you know, that's just what it is. But we could start. Go ahead and
What time is it right now?
It's 12:05. I feel like more.
Let's do like, I'm not sure who's all in the conversation. I'm just looking at you right now. So I'm just
we got.
All right, let's do 12:10.
You want to do 12:10? All right.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. Do 12:10. We're gonna give more people time. Plus, after I just started looking at you on the phone, I didn't post my shit just yet either because we just started talking.
All right. But yeah, you know, that's just what it is. You know, it's an experience. You know, it's something that we could tell our kids and, you know, future kids. You know what I'm saying? That was a very interesting thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually glad we did that because, you know, our generation, we're not like the generation from the 60s and the 70s of the world. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just to see that.
These protesters listen to Lil Boosie now.
yeah.
They listen to Lil Boosie. Like they don't listen to Miles Davis. They listen to Lil Boosie. So like they lit. But yeah, I'm gonna post my flyer right quick, and then I'm gonna get back on and we gonna start it.
All right, go ahead, do your thing.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, guys, we're gonna start at 12:10. We want to get a couple more people in. Shout out to James. We're gonna right now throughout the whole panel, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have a couple people that I know and talk about and educate you guys on, you know, the behind the scenes of what goes through, like with such as like voting, you know, the politics of the world and stuff like that, man. That's just what it is. This whole panel is just to educate one another, not to just bash one another. I feel like the media wants us to bash, you know, each other. I feel like, nah, instead of doing that, let's educate ourselves into the bigger cause, you know. So give us 2 minutes and we'll be right back. All right. So we in the game.
All right.
So right now we just gonna mute everybody. We just gonna do the intro of the panel, and then we're gonna talk to everybody. So go ahead, Rob.
What's up, y'all? Good morning to everybody on the West Coast. Good afternoon to everybody on the East Coast. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in. Shout out to everybody that's doing their comments, ripping where y'all from and everything else. We want to thank y'all on behalf of FGO, Aaron and I, for coming and taking the time out to do this, because y'all didn't have to do this. Y'all could have been doing anything y'all want to. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here with us right now. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody that's been protesting and making a difference and speaking out and making change. And y'all being on here right now is another way of y'all actively, protesting and making change. Aaron and I, we've been talking about this for a long time right now, as far as want to get on one big conference call to discuss the climate, because Aaron and I, we obviously talk every day, and shoot, we looking at this just like y'all. This is a movie, and it's new to us, and it's new to us in a whole bunch of ways, no matter what race you are, because everybody's kind of digging more than the surface right now, and it's getting kind of messy. So one of my favorite quotes is communicate to negotiate. And Aaron pitched the idea. It was like, yo, let's go on one big Zoom call and get everybody together and do it. And it was like, run it. And obviously everybody's been following us off FGO, but now we encouraging y'all to leave the house right now. You know what I mean? Go out, make a difference right now. So we encouraging y'all to, if not, or even if you stay inside, this is y'all staying inside and still making a difference as well too,
Mm-hmm. But and also bringing awareness, of different races and stuff like that, different point of views and stuff like that. I feel like it sucks to say that this situation had to occur for all this to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it needs to be talked about. I feel like the more that we try to have these conversations, I feel like we could educate ourselves to understand how important economics is, how important what's the word I'm looking for? Like the politics of the world. Not to me, I don't agree with like the whole Trump and all of that. I believe in more into like the community politics, as in like voting for who the judge is and voting for who the district. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is very important.
That's how you really get shit done. If you tackle it from the inside.
And shout out to my homeboy Munch. He's on the he's one of the participants, and he be putting me on game. And any questions I have, he always answers them for me. But we're gonna get him a little bit later. And also we're gonna have, like I said earlier, we're gonna have a couple people that's tapped into these different situations, so you guys could get educated on. Go ahead, Rob.
But yeah, we started race relations conversations, and here we are. Hopefully, we can all lead this conversation with learning about each other more, having a positive light, not being afraid to talk about race relations with one another, because a lot of times, not a lot of people can be racist. It's just that they don't know. Some people aren't brave enough, or some people might think it's awkward to really try to stand up for somebody. And we want to try to break that awkwardness and call out, excuse my language, call out fuck shit when you see it. You feel me?
Definitely.
But before we do start this off, though, I would like to do a moment of silence for Breonna Taylor. Today is her 27th birthday. So we're gonna start this off with 27 seconds of silence, y'all. So man, y'all could just join me with that. I'll be very appreciative. Let's go. All right. Thank you very much, y'all. Happy birthday, Breonna Taylor.
Happy birthday.
Rest in peace, Big Boy Floyd. We're not just doing this for them. We're doing this for a whole lot of years and the future right now, and the future.
Mm-hmm. And again, this is not about us. This is not about FGO. This is not about me and Rod. This is about everybody. You know, this is so we could just, you know, not have to go through these situations again. You know, how can we better ourselves as a community? You know, so
Yeah.
go ahead.
But I'm not sure if you want to take people off mute. You know what I mean? See what the world's talking about. Y'all want to tap in?
Yeah, I'm gonna take everybody on mute. Everybody. How you? Oh, on mute. Okay. You know, I'm still learning this, y'all. So give me a second. Y'all could talk. You know, y'all. You know, go ahead. How everybody feeling? How everybody? You know, any questions y'all want to ask us before we start? Yo, Rod, I can't hear you. So give us a second. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Yes.
Hear you.
Yo, Aaron, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yo, before you start, Zoom calls could get messy with a lot of people, so you might have to kind of control, you know, who's speaking, who's muted, who's not, and kind of give everybody a chance like that, because people gonna be speaking over each other. So,
all right. Good looking. You know, I'm still learning the Zoom stuff. I appreciate it. All right.
There's a button with everybody.
All right. So what we gonna do? I'm just gonna let's just, because it's a lot of people, so let's just start within the questions within each other. Rod.
Can I go ahead and start the conversation?
Go ahead.
Hi, so my name is Eileen Rivera. I'm from Los Angeles. I studied at San Francisco University. And the reason I find that important is because I took a few classes that taught me about the civil rights era of the 60s. And it was a very emotional class, you know, because I had no knowledge on our history, on overall American history. And, you know, what they had to do in order to receive their rights. And it was very significant because it took a lot of them. And it took literally.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Tell her to hold on if she's still.
In order to. Oh.
No, you good.
So it took a lot of them to really come together and in one room to literally communicate, talk about the problems, and come up with solutions. I don't want to take too much of the time, but my perspective of everything that's going on right now, I think that the first few days were very hard because there was protesters, there was looters, people were stealing, you know, police were acting out. So I feel like that stirred a lot of fear into people, and you know, everybody started going on social media, posting so many sources, so many videos, you know, so it was kind of like chaos. But you know, even though it was hard, I think it was necessary. I feel that it really had to be brought up to the people, you know, and luckily we have social media, we have like actual cameras that are recording all of this, so it's very in our faces. But I feel that this is what America is ignoring. It's like all this violence that is occurring. So I feel that now that, you know, the protests I feel like they have momentum, they have consistency, and I feel that that's where we shouldn't stop. You know, we have to take advantage of this turning point where we have protesters supporting us. And I feel that now what I feel like, in my opinion, the next step in this protest movement, it's obviously keep up with peaceful protesting. I feel like we shouldn't risk so much of what we've done so far. You know, we don't want people to be considered looters, or, you know, we don't give it a bad name. Definitely go protected. You know, there's a lot of conspiracies, how, you know, like they want us to come together, that this is like a tactic, whatever. But at the same time, like, I don't want to like take away from the protests, because they are necessary. You know, from the 60s to now, I don't think there has been a revolution like this. So, you know, whatever media is out right now, whatever posters people come up with, this is going in the history books. Like, this is history now, you know. So I feel that this is where we really have to challenge, like, any poster we make, any media, that we have to print it. We have to document it, because social media can get wiped out. Any evidence we have is like books, you get me? So I feel that that's for sure what I want to do with the own media that I save. I think I'm just gonna print it just for like my own like history book type of thing. But this is what I really want to say. We have to start organizing, and we have to start demanding the reform. I feel that right now we have said what the problem is, but we have, as citizens, we haven't demanded what we wanted, which is, for me, is reform. You know, the problem is oppression. They're like I'm so sorry. I get to when something really frustrates me, I can't talk about it.
Oh no, you gotta apologize. This is something that, you know, it hits home. You know what I'm saying? I cried a couple times. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I cried a couple times.
Yeah,
So that shit hurt. That shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? You get tired of the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gotta apologize on that.
So I feel that the next step is to be smart, be tactical, you know, study history, study the civil rights history, so you know what they used against them and what kind of broke them down. I feel that one of the things that that I really learned was that when they tried, so it started in like New York, in the South, and in LA, and then when these groups tried to kind of break away into other, you know, into their home countries, I think that really took away the power from the home country, in the sense that, you know, the people who were organizing and were leaders, like they were separating. So I feel that, you know, one thing I did learn was unity, and the other thing is I forgot. Okay, so basically, yeah, we just have to start demanding what we want now. I think they did the 10 something manifesto, which was like the 10 things that, so the protest at SFSU was it was student protest, and it went just directly against the educational board, institutional racism, and how they wanted ethnic studies because they wanted people to learn about their history. Before the 60s, like nobody knew their history, the history of how they even came to America. Like overall America, it's like the shittiest country in my opinion, in the sense of education and actually telling us how we all came to this country, like, you know, that sort of thing. So I feel that ethnic studies was really what they were fighting for. They were saying, we want to know our history, we want to know who we are, and we want to know why we're oppressed. So, you know, everything after the 60s has been you know, there's a lot of acts that pretty much give the government the right to do things, or like, not, okay, we have the Freedom Act. If we want to know information, we can go ahead and look for it. But, you know, this is where mind control comes in. We don't know that this even exists. So this is where doing your own research is really important. Asking critical questions, or even yourself, just, you know, trying to challenge like the mainstream truth, trying to really trying to see what's underground. And so yeah, okay, let's go back.
Right now we gonna I agree with everything you said, but we gotta get
next
everybody.
person. Got you. Good. It's good.
I'm gonna get my own girl Rabia. I'm gonna see what she think about everything. Go ahead. What they do?
What's going on?
You know, I want you to
first. What's your name? Where you from? What your name? Where you from?
Yeah. My name is Rabia Ahmad, born in Chicago, raised in Miami, and a couple of other places. I'm owner of Lucky 8 Enterprise, LLC, and Kiyomi House, which is a cosmetology business. It's a traveling hairstylist business. Been doing that for a while, worked with a couple of big companies, and now I'm here relaxing during the pandemic.
Yeah, like I want to hear what you your views on what's going on right now.
My views have changed over the years, and right now I'm kind of at a point where I'm kind of sitting back and just watching everybody, because I haven't gone to any protests or anything like that. I've been seeing protests my whole life. You feel me? I'm 30 years old. I'm going on 31. I'm not old. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, I've seen so many protests. For you to this to be y'all first time and y'all into it and y'all so flustered by it or whatever the case may be. I think because of the mere fact that I've seen so many different things like this, and it doesn't shock me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think protesting is a good idea. Don't get me wrong, because it gets people shaken up. But at the same time, the small things we don't do. We don't keep money in our communities. We still paying them. They let us burn down their police stations, but we the ones gonna pay for that shit to get built back. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They let us burn down their Target stores or whatever the fuck they burn down. Excuse my French, but we're the ones that's gonna pay for that to get built back. You get what I'm saying? That's our tax dollars. Just like
I ain't even think of it like that. That's crazy you said that.
yeah, so just like when that president took everybody's gold and then what, double, triple the value once he got everybody's gold and everything like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, but it's like a trick of the mind. Yeah, you got power, go ahead and march. And then at the same time, it's like, well, we're gonna make you pay for that later, nigga. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I mentioned in the interview that we did where I was like, and I say it all the time because a lot of Black people do not read this, and it's the William Lynch law. It's not the William Lynch who made that speech. This is the law of breaking niggas. That's the rawest that I can give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you read this, he says something about tying a man to 4 horses, beating them till they rip them apart in front of the other slaves. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was.
That's a very good book that you're talking about. That's a very good book. I read that in like 8th grade. I was shocked.
Yeah, exactly. And that puts another perspective to it.
I read something similar about the horses, like everything. It was this book during the quarantine by Supreme Understanding. It's like he briefly talked about it, and the fact that I wasn't knowledgeable about the whole everything, and the fact that he said he got 2 horses, I kind of cringed. I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine that you have a big, broad Black man, Floyd. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're tying all of his limbs to 4 horses and whipping them horses until they tear them apart in front of all these people. It don't matter how many cameras you got on niggas. It don't matter how much you record shit. Now excuse my French, I was gonna say crackers, but now these people are out here and they don't care. They know they racist.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? They know this. They just like these young kids writing swastikas on their backs and doing all this George Floyd challenge with the knee on the neck and all this craziness. All this is learned behavior. You get what I'm saying? You still got kids that go to school and get suspended because they bring in slave skin purses and slave skin shoes, and you get what I'm saying? They think this is cool or what have you because their families own this. This is all taught behavior. The only thing that we can do as a people, we can march. That's great. That's revolutionary. We've been doing that shit for years. But how about rebuilding the Black Wall Street to make it stronger? Relearn what they had going on. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, as many times as we say, let's plant our own food. Let's make our own businesses. Let's have our own banks. Let's have our own toilet paper. Let's have our own toothpaste. So we don't have to go ask these people for nothing. It don't just got to be Black culture. It can be everything ethnic, period. Because Black culture ain't just American culture. It ain't just Africa. We came from there and we were dropped off for many islands.
Mm-hmm.
Many islands. Whether you speak Spanish, Creole,
all that.
Whether you live in Jamaica, whether you speak in Creole,
Dominican,
French, Martinique, all them places, we all the same people. We just get mixed up a little bit. Skin tone might get a little lighter. We all the same motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. What's the skin tone called? The melanin, like the melanin. Yeah,
melanin. That is the highest grade of SPF from the sun. Why you think? And it was okay. So there was another point in William Lynch law where he talked about different ways to separate the Black people, not just showing you that, yeah, we're going to do this in front of you and get you scared. You get what I'm saying? Even though we know you're stronger than us. But then it was the separation of color. You have the light-skinned Negroes and the fair, you get what I'm saying? That the fair haired, what have you, inside the homes. The darker skinned Negroes Right, the mulatto, and they got a young. What about the young lady? Her name is Mulatto now. She's a singer, a rapper. She out there doing her thing. Yo, they blatantly put it in your face. It's in the music. It's in the news. It's in everything you watch. You don't even know. Niggas love light skinned bitches. You get what I'm saying? My mom was light skinned. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You get what I'm saying? We come from all spectrums of color. Black holds everything. You cannot get no color from white. We hold all that. Black people can birth a light-skinned white baby. We can birth albino. We can birth green eyes with dark skin. We can birth all that. We birth it all. But at the end of the day, we look at TV too fucking much. We listen too much.
We don't read. We
don't read shit. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of this shit too. But at the same time, when I feel like it's time for me to have a child and it's time to learn something new, my mama taught me so much. Munchies can attest to this. You get what I'm saying? I've known her for years. My mama will talk some political shit to you to the end of your days and have you sitting there rethinking everything that you want to do in your life, everything that you thought was right. You get what I'm saying?
You have to unlearn to learn.
And you gotta, because this shit they teaching you in school ain't real.
So Robbie, what does your future look like? How does your future look?
Me?
Or how would you want it to look? How do you envision it?
Man, my biggest dream has, even though I do hair, I ain't no politician. You get what I'm saying? I'm none of that. I can only speak my mind and just pay attention to what's going on around me. I always wanted to like open a salon with all ethnic black, you get what I'm saying, people working in it, have a high class, just like these European motherfuckers do. Have solar panels on that bitch. Have a garden in the back of my house, or have a big ass garden for the community. With like, I know I'm only one person. It can be done, but I have to be taught certain things so I can get there. You get what I'm saying?
Mention what you told me in the interview. You were saying how the difference between like the black salons versus like people that has like, you know what I'm saying? Mention that before we get to the next person.
Yeah, I'm about to say Robbie, you're gonna pass it on. But yeah.
All right. So as far as in my field alone, where it's just beauty, period. The beauty industry got women fucked up. Okay, we want to look like the white woman so bad, but the white woman want to look like us even worse. You get what I'm saying? In a black salon, we are so catty. We will fight each other. We will cook each other. We will cheat each other. We won't even be. It's both. Okay, so say for instance, you walk into a white salon. Everybody is working together in that motherfucker to keep it up. Everybody's working together to keep it up because the owner needs you to come to work because you getting paid commission. So she get her money up front. You get what I'm saying? In the black salon, you pay a booth rent. Our shit opens up and closes. Can do that in the same year or the same month. All because we hoping that you come to work. We not working together to keep nothing open. You get what I'm saying? You have a couple of people out there, we hear about them, they functioning, they working, they salons booming, but at the same time, 10 years past, that shit dead. But you got salons you have never heard of in places where you never see people barely walk into them. And they're Caucasian salons, they're high-scale salons, and they still up and running 15, 20 years later. Why? Because their process of moving and the way that they work together is so different than how we work together. It's the same thing in nail salons. It's the same thing when you going to anything that has to do with my line of work, the beauty industry. Women are the number one consumers of everything. So the only way I feel that a lot of this shit is going to change if women, we start reiterating that shit. But we so fucked up as a black community. All women want from our men is fucking money. We want money and bullshit. Money, cars, clothes, and bullshit. You get what I'm saying? And then the men, we so flustered on trying to get these women that they going for the bullshit too. You get what I'm saying? It's a never ending cycle. Your mama can't read, your sister can't read, the whole fucking family. I got a cousin. I can't even lie about it because it's the whole truth. I have a little cousin. Her mother said her mom never forced her to go to school. Now, mind you, she only got a 6th grade education. Her mother died of HIV. You get what I'm saying? And this is my cousin's baby mama. That's them. But I consider her family too because she had my baby cousin. You feel me? Now her other kids, besides my baby cousin, doing the same shit, walking down the same path. But because my family is so strict, my little baby cousin, we ain't worried about everybody else who want to jump off the boat. She's smarter than the motherfucker, making shit happen. You get what I'm saying? There's a difference in how you do things. People got to get families involved. People got to put books back in the family. We got to learn some different shit. These churches fucking us up. I'm sorry for anybody who's fully endowed Christian and all that good stuff. I'm Muslim and I don't even follow that.
You ain't gotta apologize. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Religion and that cult type nature, all that shit is fucking everything up. Because even our own churches is fucking our neighborhoods up.
No, you're right. All right, Robbie. Thank you for tapping in.
We gonna get back.
We're gonna get back on you. We're gonna get back on you. What I want to do, I want to actually pass the mic on to my man Andrew. If you want to unmute.
Yeah, Andrew, unmute.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Andrew, what's good, man? You could just tap in, introduce yourself to everybody.
Absolutely. What's going on, guys? My name is Andrew Jones. I identify with him pronouns. I'm born and raised in Miami Beach, and I am white and Jewish. So my particular interest of being in this chat is to become more educated, not only about what I can digest through documentaries, film, various other books and autobiographies, but also from the personal experiences of the people in my community. I've been interested in white accountability and making sure that the people in my community who are not of color are not only paying attention, not being silent, speaking up, but also being prepared to get uncomfortable about a lot of things that are transpiring and that have been transpiring for our whole lives.
I understand. Now the questions that I do want to ask you, and thank you for actually wanting to tap in. Thank you for being curious, because curiosity leads to a lot of good things, and also you want to be open for dialogue. So I appreciate you for coming in here. And you're my dog. I've been fucking with you for a long time. The questions that I do want to ask you is, do you believe that POC or Black people and law enforcement can come to an agreement? And also, do you actually trust law enforcement? You being a white male, you probably experiencing privilege, or do you think that there can be trust overall as an outsider looking in?
Well, thank you so much for that question. One thing I do want to say is that, especially in platforms and times like now, the faces and the voices of the POC community should be prioritized. I don't know how much to say my opinion necessarily has, but I'm going to articulate it. For the last few years, I have been associated myself with the Dream Defender movement here in Miami, alongside incredible people like Danny and Phil Agnew, Vivian Azalea, and I am in their camp and I follow their philosophy of abolitionism. I definitely don't believe in police reform. I think one of the first steps to solving this issue is to defund the police and reinvest it in the community, and totally reconsider how we view any type of law enforcement, considering its origins in slave watching and policing the behaviors of minorities. So I don't trust police. Being someone of Jew, I saw a quote yesterday that said, in my background, being Jewish, you never saw a Jewish person hugging a Nazi, right? So I really don't believe any of the sentiments that I see of police officers taking a knee and hugging people of minorities. I think it's totally deceptive, and I think that it is, I think it's deceptive, man. So I'm in the position that police should be defunded and then absolutely abolished, man, completely dissolved. I think that we can move towards a different type of policing.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I know you lived abroad, and you always told me how, police officers are kind of like not as mean as American cops. Do you feel like we could take advice from how they're policing in other countries versus in America? And if so, what makes it different? What makes police officers a little bit more respectful in other countries versus in Americans?
I think that's a difficult question to answer, just because the social and political and historical context of policing in the United States is very different from other parts of the world. But one of the things that I was always in favor of is police not being armed with deadly weapons. I don't understand why every cop who shows up to every type of situation that they're called to is armed with deadly force. I know in other countries, like the Netherlands, there's a special unit of police who are trained to be engaged, or who are specially trained with firearms. And when it is necessary for them to be present with firearms, they are deployed to that situation, and then also they are documented the whole time with various types of body cameras and other documentation from around them. So I just don't understand why sometimes there's situations that there's some situations that arise where the police are called that requires no form of deadly force, but yet they still show up armed to the teeth. And then you wonder why things escalate so quickly, or you have people of minority background being killed in front of their family members.
No, you're right. I'm not gonna hold you. If a gun's in my face, I don't think I'm acting regular. Keep it a beam. If everybody got 7 people with guns,
it's pure and utter escalation. And I think that it's incredibly insulting to ask somebody to remain calm and behave correctly when their life is being threatened, especially by someone who is supposed to be here to protect and serve them and their community.
They known for taking lives. Like they known for killing people. Yeah, man, shit's hectic. Man.
I actually I feel like I agree with what he said. It was one thing he said, something about deformed. Like I agree with that, because I feel like they need to teach these officers how to move in a certain type of environment. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I feel like when not all officers, but some officers, when they get scared, they just pop off. You know, it was actually this one guy. I don't know if you guys remember. It was actually in Minnesota. This is around the time, I forgot. It was 3 years ago. It was back to back, police officers killing black people. Guy was with his kid and his wife, and he got popped, and he was just hunched over. You know what I'm saying? I feel and he was scared. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like they gotta teach these officers to be not to I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Somebody just put in the comments, speak on policing the what community? I'm not sure who did it. I want you to tap in. I want to hear what you talk about.
Tap in.
Unfortunately, I'm not a part of the Hasidic community. I grew up in a Reformed Jewish family, so I don't think that I have the experience to speak on that particularly. But I do think that being of a Jewish background, that it's incredibly important to be vocal about the injustices that we're seeing today. And I can't imagine, the discrimination and dehumanizing that took place against the Jewish people in World War II. It's completely relevant to what's happened to African American people in the history of the United States.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask this to everybody, and thank you, Andrew, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. How you guys feel about the George Floyd, the overall outcome? Because all the 4 police officers, they got arrested. Do you think they did their justice for everything like that, or how you guys feel? Do you think he getting the proper justice?
Hell no.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate.
I mean, you know me, man. I usually try to sit back and chill, and just listen a lot of times. But hell no, I'm Munch, by the way. So
out to Munch,
all like mine's Trapping Ain't Dead podcast. I'm sitting here right now at the Black House with Danny. So personally, you know what I mean? I made this post one time. I was like, some people gonna be happy that folk got charged. Some people gonna be happy that people got that the people who did this to George Floyd got arrested. Some people gonna be happy that they went to trial, and some people gonna be happy that that they get convicted. But for some people like myself, it just ain't gonna be enough, because there's always gonna be that next time. You know what I mean? Time and time again, I think since the time I woke up, and actually actively said I'm gonna do something about it, was Trayvon Martin, and we've been seeing time and time again that it's never like a range. So for me, it's just like, all right, it's one thing for like the young lady said, yeah, we need to do the protest because the protest is a bluff. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't call these crackers on their bluff, they always gonna feel like they need to do the same thing. Secondly, black folk got to stop acting like there's this glass ceiling of or this glass threshold of shit we could do and shit we can't do. If they can march into, like, the Black Panthers first marched on the Capitol in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? And then it's not no coincidence that they went after the Black Panthers after that. But then when these guys from Michigan did what they did, it's they're a terrorist organization. They didn't go after them. They didn't study them. They didn't do nothing. So for me, it's like, just like Andrew said, we need to start looking into, and somebody said earlier, divesting and abolishing a lot of these programs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things they're doing. And when we talk about defunding the police in general, I think it needs to be a situation where, so people don't get it misunderstood. Defunding the police means they have a lot of punitive programs. You feel me? And a lot of those punitive programs need to be changed in the what we call restorative justice programs. You get what I'm saying? That, we know that a dude that's on drugs, you're gonna keep sending him to jail. He don't need to go to jail. He on drugs. He a drug addict. He need rehabilitation. You get what I'm saying? So we need to start looking at those, like, everybody's situation a little bit differently, instead of just saying, treating it with a blanket. You know what I'm saying? And just saying, all right, if you did this, you get
a tuxedo over a pile of shit.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the same thing. And like, so like for me, me personally, what I've been doing is I've been divesting since Trayvon Martin. I haven't fucked with, things that, if you don't support my neighborhood, I don't fuck with you. All I need is one time. All you need is one time. You know what I'm saying? You don't need 2 times. You don't need I don't care if you made an apology, unless I have to fuck with you. Like, you have a service that's just a viable product, and I can't, there's no viable alternative, because that's the reality of it. Some people just don't have a viable alternative, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, the people was talking about Michael Kors. I know this vein, but this a black-owned watch, this Tally and Twine, even down to my drawers, even down to my toothpaste, even down to my the stuff I put in my hair. Everything I do has to be some way going back to my community intentionally, some type of way. And if it ain't, I ain't fucking with it. And that's how we gonna have to start showing them.
Talk about because you talk about the black community, and talk about how important economics is, our own economics.
I mean, truth be told, like, economics is important. It's like one of the most important. You get what I'm saying? Because G shit, bro. Like, for instance, let's just say, prime example, in Miami-Dade County, they went downtown. We made a concerted effort to make sure people was out of Overtown, people was out of Liberty City, people was out of Opelika, Miami Gardens. And the reason being is because last time y'all complained and we burnt down our own shit, they made it an opportunity zone, and them crackers had every opportunity to come and gentrify it. And because we so resilient, we just said, the hell with that. And we kept our neighborhoods up and tried to do the best we can without the lack of funding, and even to that, we got $1 billion down here between 1968, after King got killed, to 1980. We got $1 billion that was invested. But the thing is that that money that we seen wasn't even invested correctly.
I was about to say, where's that?
So I mean, I have a whole video on it that, me and Aaron, I talk about this with him all the time. But like I said, that $1 billion. So for instance, and then you got to look at federal legislation. Policy plays a factor. You know what I'm saying? So you got federal legislation, you got state legislation, and then you got local municipalities. The biggest, we know checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? So the state has a little bit of power. The feds got their power. But what we really need to pay attention to is what we call preemption. Right, so preemption is basically if the local municipality, they said we're not going to arrest nobody or we're not going to do something in the city of Miami Beach, something that's very progressive. If the state already has a law on it and the state has these preemptive laws like gun laws, they can say hell no, we not with it. And that's the roadblocks we facing a lot of times is federal, state, and local, and understanding the difference between all three. So, we got $1 billion down here that was invested from the federal. I think it was when the Civil Rights Act and the Housing Act of 1949, there was what was called urban renewal. It went around all the 50 states. This was federal legislation. I don't know if y'all ever heard of model cities. Model cities came in later. That came in around I want to say like the late 60s, maybe towards, I think, no, it was 77, I want to say. So that was another housing act that came out. That particular housing act made provisions. So places like Atlanta thrived under the model cities, but places like Miami failed horribly. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of money trickles down, but we not paying attention to a lot of things that happen. And, you know, there was jobs, you know what I'm saying? They gave us, this was after JFK and everything. So they gave us the ability to run our neighborhoods. And, you know, they gave, you know, people who never managed $1,000 the ability to manage millions of dollars, and they misappropriated funds. And let's just be real. I could talk about us all damn day, but, you know, to get back on the subject and everything like that, it's just like, you know, we're not, like, when it comes to George Floyd, it's all trial and error until we win, until we get our freedom. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. Mm-hmm. So because it's all trial and error, you feel me? I think we need protests. We need people on the front line still doing what they're doing. At the same time, I did that before. My thing is, I'm not gonna do that no more, because I understand now we're the people that have to have these lists of demands. You feel me?
Quick question. Educate us on, because I know you're very smart on this note. Like,
what's up?
Explain how important, how can we educate ourselves about these laws, our rights, and who to vote for in these local offices in the state of Florida? Well, because I feel like that's very important. And this is how we, you know, get a slap on the wrist. All these people getting a slap on the wrist on this note.
Well, I know for us, and I'll try to find the link, but basically in Florida, we have a group called Progress Florida, where they basically give out these report cards on every state representative and state senator. Excuse me. So when we have that, you know what I'm saying? We now have an equal playing field, and it's not about, it's about being proactive. You know, everything I'm about is about being proactive instead of reactive. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times, you know, with the protest makes everybody who didn't know galvanize them, but everybody who knows, come on, let's get ahead of it. And it's a 365 process. We need to start making policy and legislation a part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? Just like affordable housing. People think affordable housing is so it's supposed to be affordable. No, it's market rate housing. That's plain and simple. What the fuck it is? You know what I'm saying? They saying we don't want to do with public housing. So when you look at, you know, trying to stay up on these legislative stuff, it's very tedious. It's very hard to follow. But locally, I know in Miami-Dade County, we have commission meetings that are every Tuesday. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And in these commission meetings, they tell you everything that's happening. You can go in your local government. You go to your local government page, where like Miami-Dade.gov, right? For instance, go on Miami-Dade. So on Miami-Dade.gov, you can go and you can look at you can get legislative updates. So they'll send you a meeting and the agenda, like email you every time that they finna have a meeting. And then there's all these different type of boards and all these different type of committees that are like, government is bureaucratic as fuck. It's like everybody meets. It's just like how we're meeting in this group right now. It's the same way they meet. You know, they got a committee and a subcommittee for damn near everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's very tedious. So, you know, to me, I would just say, you know, follow the groups and the organizations, get with the organizations and the groups that literally follow these things on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And move from there, because it's no one kind of like place or person. I know they have the politicking app that's been talking about a lot of national legislation. I think you can follow some of your local and state representatives as well. So those are some things that you could do. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. No problem. Next person what's up? You got something to say, Aaron? No, you go ahead.
Nah. Go ahead. You next.
Yeah, I'm about to say another person I want to tap in with. I'm gonna tap in with Devin Christopher, my guy Dev. I want to tap in with Dev. If you could unmute yourself, Dev. What's good?
Hello, does this thing work?
Yo, yes sir.
What they do?
What's up, Devin? How you doing? I just want you to introduce yourself to the community as we continue these race relations conversations. Where you come from, where you at. Then I'm gonna ask you a question right there.
What's up, guys? My name is Devin. Just here in Miami. Just kind of woke up just a second ago, so just wanted to chime in, say what's up to everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate you for checking in. I appreciate it.
Most definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I do like three words that have been on my mind for like the past couple of days, because it's got to a point where I'm just like, I have to get offline. But there's three words that come to mind like nonstop. I keep seeing it happen, and I keep seeing people kind of doing things because of other people and whatnot. So the first one is what is it, virtue signaling. So I feel like a lot of people, I haven't heard anything so far in here, which I'm very proud of, but virtue signaling, a lot of people just kind of like doing stuff because it makes them look good. So I guess this example is like when you see someone like, with a front facing camera, they're like this, and then like feeding the homeless. It's like, that's so annoying to me. It's like you never want to contribute in that type of light. It doesn't come off as real, and I just hate that people use that as a tool to kind of prove to the world that they're doing something. Even like, I mean, Kanye is not the best example right now, but like Kanye did that like without his like contribution was not like publicized, but like Complex and everybody else is doing it. It's like, bro, like he wasn't even making that to make it a headline. And I don't know.
I understand.
The whole gaslighting thing, which I know that, a lot of people experiencing as well, where, I've got a bunch of text messages from people that are like, yo, I'm not racist, right? Like, all right, bro, what are you doing? Like that right there is enough. Yeah. And then
that was enough. That's enough off top.
That's enough. Yeah. I got so many like, yo, like, what's up? Like, I'm not racist and blah, blah. And it's like, you don't have to prove that to me. Like
you're doing too much.
Right now is a little suspect, but and then I forgot what the last one was. It'll come to mind. It was gaslighting, virtue signaling, and
no, for sure. The question that I did want to ask you was, what do you feel you can do within your reach to inform and fight racism, as you being like a Black male, and also you're in the fashion industry and you're artists, like, you around, sometimes you could be the only Black person in the room a lot of times. So, what do you feel like you can do within your reach without, not even saying, I know sometimes it's kind of hard to, you don't want to be like, damn, you don't want to be the mad Black man in the room, always being like a hotep, or always, being on top of people or on top of their necks. What do you feel like, you could do or we can do when we are in these situations, as being like the only Black person in the room to, inform people, check people on racism?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that has always kind of bothered me is that I've always been that one voice in a room, and it's been like a weird like known unknown pressure to be like, regulate to everybody that I could. I've always talked to like the highest power in the room, if that helps, and been like, yo, like, I need to be able to do this and help, bring people that are just like me, Black, brown, whatever, into a position to make something happen, and how can we go forward? And it's always been like a matter of like solidifying like a spot, like, it's I'm a photographer. I mean, I don't know people in here, I'm just a photographer by trade, but it's always a matter of letting people know, hey, like, we don't want to just get the first one. We want to get like more work. We're trying to make this like a longevity thing. We're not just trying to be put on for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
So how can we get more of that? And it sucks because I have a lot of friends that are not Black or brown that are in positions of power, and it's always been a conversation with me. I don't know if it's just because the times, or just because they know, I guess my foresight, but it's always been a conversation of like, hey, what can we do to make more of this happen? Or what can we do to help more? How can we get more, people involved? And it like, I worked for Perry Ellis for a long time, freelance, and it was always been like, what projects can we make that we can bring more people in? And stuff like that. So it's always been a conscious effort with the people I'm around, but there's been other times where it hasn't been, and I've had to let them know, like, listen, like, you're not going to play us. I feel like a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to this here. I feel like being a person that runs a Black business, a lot of other outside people think that because you own a Black business, that means you can do it cheaper.
Hey, we going through all that, man. Trust me, that's how you feel, dog.
And it's
Hey,
like,
the
bro,
tab, don't
like,
dib and dab.
don't play me like that, man. I come from a generation of
it's 1
like
o'clock.
everyone that's been a part of my team. It's always been someone that's been a couple of years older. Like for a long time, like when I was 25, all my friends were like 45. So all of those photographer colleagues, whatever, they've always told me like, this is how the industry was ran back in this time. And it's that versus like my friends now that are like, 20, 21, 25, like starting off, and they're like, oh, I'll do this for free. And it's like, wait, I'm always the mediator between both generations. That's like, listen, like, we can't do this for free. We got to do this with some sort of like longevity, because we're just going to keep fucking ourselves, for lack of a better word. So it's
And I
always
agree.
a conversation of like, how can we keep it, more consistent, and how can we get more opportunities. I really wish one of my friends was in the Zoom call, because she would definitely
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not sure who
the fuck
that.
is that?
I don't know. That's something I'm trying to see who that is.
It's a Zoom bomb. People just tap into
Nigga, shut
Zoom
the hell up, war. Shut the
conversations.
hell up. No one gives a
Go back to Joe, nigger.
What's up, my nigger? What's up, my nigger?
Oh boy.
It's because Zoom doesn't use encrypted calls, so anybody can tap in.
What's up, my nigger?
Oh shit.
You thought you could just mute me like that, huh? How dare you?
Fuck niggers, bro.
He won't infiltrate your guys' Zoom. I think you should honestly just shut it down.
Shut up and go back to
because he's going to continue to infiltrate and
go
be
back
an
to the
asshole.
kitchen.
What's up, my nigger? What's up, my nigger? What's up, my nigger?
Don't give him the opportunity to infiltrate your Zoom. Shut down, guys.
What's up, my nigger? What's up, my nigger? What's up, my nigger?
Oh my god.
Yo, I don't know what.
To get the many to people, you have to press
Hey, stop fucking muting me, you bitch.
F4 and you're able to get the
Alt F4 and it kicks us.
Really have to be ashamed of.
And that right there, you guys, was the FGO Race Relation Conversation Zoom meeting. And I hope you guys got a lot of game, a lot of free game at that, from a lot of variety of different people that express on what they know and how they feel about certain scenarios and what's going on around the world. And again, at the end of the show, you got to hear what the trolls did to the whole Zoom meeting. And, we wanted you guys to hear this because let you know we have a fight that we have to handle, and express that this has been going on for too long and we cannot continue to go to the same patterns. So again, I hope you guys really learn a lot, and me and Rod are going to find a solution that we could continue to have these conversations, and to have like another panel like on a monthly basis, so you guys can get more knowledgeable on different things and what we need to do to get these people out of offices, so we could just continue to grow and not go through the same patterns like we continue to do. And after the Zoom meeting, we end up going on live. So if nobody really everything's on IGTV, on the FGO page, on Instagram. So tune that. If you're not aware, is that fuck going out, FUCKGOINGOUT. But yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you got enough knowledge today, and I like this a lot. So, and I just want to tell you guys stay safe, man. Whatever you guys do, stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings, and make sure you make it do what it do. I'm Aaron J. Jackson, and I will see you next time. I'm out. Peace and love. And love. And love. And love.